episode. Is this the 95th episode?
94th.
Welcome to the 94th episode of What the Podcast.
This is Bridgerton.
I was gonna say Great British Baking Show.
Bridgerton. Oh yeah,
That was
maybe
a
more of
question.
like that kind of thing, like in the tent this week.
Yeah.
Ryan Tafolla, Jonathan Albright, that's funny. Cara Tafolla,
Goa.
and introducing this week the lovely Annie the Skovmand. And now here's Paul Hollywood.
That was good.
I love that show.
Very nice.
Wow, very good.
Very nice.
Well, welcome back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
And John.
Together we are.
Ryan and John.
On the couch, as always, Cara Tafolla, the lovely Annie the Skovmand.
Yeah, kind of went through this
Kind of
already.
already did that
Yeah.
already. But we're just feeling like a couple of crazy guys today. We got things to talk about, questions to answer,
True.
things to get caught up on.
Yeah. Feels like
Answers to
we're getting
questions.
told the news these
That's
days.
right. That's right. Do you feel like, John, do you feel like you're caught up on something that the rest of the world's not caught up on yet? Anything? Are you like woke to anything yet? Like,
No.
what's the big thing that's about to happen?
I don't know what's about to happen. I will say that I feel like TikTok is becoming like the new Twitter. Like I feel like things are happening on TikTok faster than they are on Twitter.
For sure.
Because Twitter
Twitter's
used to be
dead.
the thing that was like you could find out like things that happened around the world
Uh-huh.
in seconds because Twitter was just that way.
Instagram's for sure dead,
No,
right?
I don't think Instagram is a good way to communicate.
No.
I mean, talking about fast communication. I mean,
Yes.
it's cool to like share your pictures of your vacation, but like, you know, I don't know that it's like I want everyone to know this. I'm going to
It's
post
no
it on
longer a
Instagram,
news source.
you know. And so I think TikTok's that way because after there's a big thing this weekend, and I feel like I only know about it because I came across like 10 TikToks that were talking about it.
Let's hear it.
It's the thing with Harry Styles and Chris Pine, and they were at the debut for the film festival. What?
Let the
what?
experts
The
explain
Venice
it.
Film Festival.
Oh my gosh.
This was my thing, people.
Okay.
This is
That
Cara's
was your
thing.
This is
thing.
my
I didn't
segment.
realize they were the same thing.
They're
Yes.
the same exact thing.
The
Okay.
Venice Film
The
Festival.
Venice Film Festival?
happened this weekend.
Okay.
It's where all
It's
the
not
new
that big of a
movies
deal.
were all premiered before they hit like big theaters.
As they do over in
Such
Venice.
as The Whale, such as Don't Worry Darling, those kind of movies. So first,
Okay.
there is a video circulating of after The Whale, there was a big standing ovation for Brendan Fraser.
I was just talking about this with
This was
John.
his return
wasn't.
to show business and movies, and it is so moving because they're like standing ovation, and he's just sitting down, and then he like is about to leave because it's like the movie's over, and everyone is like
It just
cheering
keeps
his
going.
name
I
and
cried
keeps
when I
going,
saw
and
it.
he's crying, and
You guys hip to Brendan Fraser?
Well, okay. Do you know the history behind it?
Yeah, he was in those mummy movies.
Okay, he got
She just found that out.
blacklisted.
Yeah.
He got blacklisted for being sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And the movie producer who assaulted him denied it, blacklisted him from Hollywood,
Oh.
stopped.
Who are
you
we
know,
talking about here?
Brendan
do we know?
Fraser.
No, do we know what producer he got?
I don't
No.
remember
Got by?
it. Yeah. But I cried when I saw it because this is like his return back into this thing that he was so wrongfully like taken out of.
and
then
he
it's-
was depressed,
gained a bunch of weight, which is like so. This sounds so weird, but like The Whale is about a
Yes.
600-pound man who's like who is like shunned from his family,
And he plays
can't leave
the
his
whale.
house, and
Yeah.
he plays the whale, and it's like just such a view of like wow, to some degree, obviously not to the degree of 600 pounds, but to some degree, it was a very good fit in the way that he's like could portray what it was like to have people, because after he got blacklisted from Hollywood from the producing side, then all of a sudden he gains all this weight, and then all the people kind of just blacklisted him too. They're like, oh well, we don't want to see him anymore. He's not ripped.
Poor guy.
Wow.
And
So he's back.
He's back.
Well, that's
cried.
fantastic.
I'm so excited to see
I'm
that
happy
movie.
for him.
Also about that movie, Sadie Sink from Stranger Things is in that movie.
Oh.
Yeah, sure, cool.
And there is already Oscar buzz about her
Wow.
role, and she is only 20 years old.
She's in the Whale,
Yes, she is.
and she played Max in Stranger Things.
Yes.
Sadie Sink.
Sadie Sink.
You know, she was a Broadway girl.
She was.
I saw a
Little
TikTok
Annie.
of her Speaking of TikTok, I saw a TikTok of her playing Annie.
Nice.
Thus, I'll come out. You know, I played Annie too, Jen.
Yeah,
my
That's
dream
nice.
role was Miss Hannigan, not Annie. but
You and
Miss
everybody
Hannigan.
else.
You're kind of. That's great.
Like old and crotchety.
now you get to play it in real life. That's fantastic.
You're like
just
doing
as
a cause.
bitter
Are you
and
doing like a
sad.
thing now?
You're
As
like
your
just
character
as-
in the show?
You're just as bitter
You're
and
gonna
lonely
run an
as her.
orphanage.
That's fun.
Only if
Run
it's
an
free
orphanage.
child labor. If it's for like love and care, count me
It's
out.
kind of a slippery slope because like she only works there for the free child labor, but then they're just cleaning the orphanage. So it's like it never really gets done,
Well,
you
she
know.
gets
Nothing never
paid
gets
for
finished.
running the orphanage. Like the government.
Yeah, she
pays
gets
her.
monthly.
By Tim Curry, right? Or
Tim
right?
Curry?
Isn't Tim isn't
Yeah,
Tim
no,
Curry in that movie?
it's like
well, that's
a-
the he's Rooster.
It's you get paid by the government to
Right.
run something like
Yeah,
that.
you get a
'cause
monthly. It's like
It's like
foster
the foster
care.
care
Yeah.
system, yeah.
Classic.
She's a
Yeah.
horrible woman, but I love her anyway.
Yes. So moving on.
Okay, so great for Brendan Fraser.
Yes.
Not great for other people.
So the movie Don't Worry, Darling. Trailer came out a while ago. Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, all in this movie together, directed by Olivia Wilde. It also premiered at this film festival. Starting off, red carpet, already very awkward. Pictures of the group of them.
How's that?
There's like videos of them taking a group photo, and then Olivia Wilde goes to stand next to Harry Styles, and he like turns his back away from her. So there's all these awkward things between them two, which now it is rumored that they broke up. Very awkward.
Can't have that
Interesting.
coming out when there's a movie on the.
So
on the
originally it was cast Florence Pugh, Chris Pine, and Shia LaBeouf. Shia
Yes.
LaBeouf was supposed to be the main male character, who is now Harry Styles.
Okay.
The whole thing with that is there is like a bunch of sex scenes in this movie where Olivia Wilde wanted to put it more on the woman, so Florence Pugh. So like
Okay.
the woman is the one who orgasms in it. Like
Okay.
it's just
Awesome.
showing it's more like women empowered.
Great.
So Florence
Ryan,
Pugh was okay
awesome.
with
I'm
that.
all about that. That's great.
In the beginning, Shia LaBeouf, he had a very different way of doing things with sex scenes
What does
I
that
guess
mean?
made Florence Pugh very uncomfortable. He wanted to rehearse it a bunch.
Oh, he's a creeper.
Just the way that he wanted to
I
do
mean,
it.
we know that
Well,
about.
but
he's
he's
a little
come
above.
forward and kind
Oh,
of said
yeah.
like I was in the wrong and that wasn't right, right?
Yes.
Like
he's obviously got a lot of
apologized.
issues. He's still
But-
working through.
Yeah.
Hold on, I took
Not everyone
some
makes a
screenshots.
movie
So
about
enter Harry Styles.
Well,
Well,
Well-
first,
Oh, okay. Right. Right.
First.
For sure. For sure.
this was like Shia LaBeouf. Then it was rumored that like okay, he was taken off a bit and Harry Styles came in.
Okay.
And it was really awkward because Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde were dating. There was rumors about him
no,
getting
I
more
thought they didn't. I
pay.
thought they didn't start dating until he
No,
got on
they've
the
been dating
project.
for
No, they've been
years.
dating for years.
Really?
Been dating for a long time.
Like 3 years.
I
now?
looked it up.
Yeah.
You know, they're 10 years apart, which they don't look
Yeah.
it though.
No, she looks. pretty
She's
good.
looks great.
she's
She's
what, like 25, 30, 35?
He's
98.
he's 20. Well, he's 28 and she's 38.
Okay.
He's 28.
Yeah, he's
But
young.
like Hollywood age, who cares, right?
Well, he was like 16 when One Direction happened. I mean, he's young.
I thought he was like
So, this was one of Olivia Wilde's posts. She was referencing Florence because
Okay.
it was her big thing because Florence felt uncomfortable, all this stuff. She said, for our film, what we really needed was an energy that was incredibly supportive, particularly with a movie like this. I knew that I was going to be asking Florence to be in very vulnerable situations, and my priority was making her feel safe and making her feel supported.
Okay.
Good post.
Great.
Great.
Except no.
Then, like Shia LaBeouf, all these things are saying that he's been fired off of
Okay.
this, all this stuff, and then there's like conversations between Olivia Wilde and Shia LaBeouf that Shia LaBeouf leaked to the world.
Oh.
This
Nice.
says
Nice.
Good for him.
like the claims
We definitely
him
want the men
being
to have the power, you know? Like
fired.
Yeah.
And
in
he
these sort of
revealed, like, the
situations.
text
Keeps the man in
messages.
power.
Yes, exactly.
It says, in fact, in an explicit contradiction to what Olivia said about protecting her leading lady, she told Shia LaBeouf that Florence needed a wake-up call as she tried to convince him to stay on the project. So wake-up
he
call,
left.
it's a sex scene, get over it, is what
Yeah.
Olivia told
Okay,
Shia
so
LaBeouf.
here's what I heard.
Yeah.
Maybe this is true. Maybe
Somewhere
this
in
isn't
the
true.
middle, I'm sure.
Maybe this isn't true. I heard it was sketchy because Florence Pugh may or may not have hooked up with Harry Styles.
That is false.
Is it?
Yes.
Do we know that to be true?
We don't know that.
You heard that
No,
rumor.
that's false because Florence Pugh and Harry Styles are having like problems.
Babies.
It's all no.
Yeah,
No,
but
and
like
that's
also
why it was sketchy because they had hooked up maybe prior, maybe
and Florence
during.
feels guilty and Harry doesn't.
Well,
you know,
And
it's
Olivia
like,
Wilde's like mad dogging her because that's her boy.
that's her boy, you know.
Right.
No,
you know?
all of
My
this is
boy.
because Olivia Wilde pretty much told Florence like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna protect you," but told Shia LaBeouf like she needs to wake up, and Shia LaBeouf did not want to come back after all that.
So,
this was Olivia's what she
Okay.
sent.
What did
and
she,
Shia
wait, how
LaBeouf
did he
leaked.
leak it? Was it like a
Wait, he
recording
just-
or
No,
was
what?
it a text message?
It was a
The
text.
pictures.
She
Oh,
said,
well,
"You
that's
know,
kinda
I think this might be a
No.
bit of a
Pretty-
wake-up
pretty
call for
sketch.
Miss Flo, and I want to know if you're open to giving this a shot with me, with us. If she really commits, if she really puts her mind and heart into it at this point, and if you guys can make peace, and I respect your point of view, I respect hers, but if you guys can do it, what do you think? Is there hope? Will you let me know?"
now, mind you, obviously, what we know about Hollywood is any of these people will say anything to
Yeah.
anyone that they're talking to right at that
To get them
moment.
to
That's
stay in
what
the
I'm
movie.
thinking.
To get them to stay in the movie.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf obviously went rogue and was like, "Here's my conversation with her."
Well, yeah,
Good-
because Olivia
good for
Wilde
him.
put out
Posting
that
receipts is
Good for
is a
him,
bold
and
move.
and obviously he was trying to look out for Florence Pugh,
Yes.
who now
Yeah.
we know has like apparently we talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago. She usually posts heavily for whatever project she's in.
Yes.
Like even right now she's working on the next Dune movie and she's like so excited to be in Dune. I love everyone in Dune and like is posting like set pictures and everything. At some point she went radio silence on
Yes.
Don't Worry Darling. She was like not posting pictures from it. She wasn't like when the premiere happened, she wasn't like happy about it. She obviously even with Harry Styles apparently had a bad time.
So
because of Olivia Wilde.
This says previously sources claimed that Florence was also uncomfortable with the way that the new couple, because they were a newish couple when it started,
Filming, yeah.
that she was uncomfortable with the way that they were all over each other on set during
Uh-huh.
filming, and
Who
it
was?
also
Florence
Olivia.
Pugh? Oh.
No, Olivia Wilde and Harry.
Styles.
It's also theorized that Florence had to direct parts of the movie as a result of their romance. Like they were so
She had to not
into
direct
each other.
it.
No, she had to direct.
Like she
some
stepped in
scenes.
as director because Olivia Wilde was occupied with Harry Styles,
yeah.
like so infatuated with each other that she couldn't even step up and do her job.
Yes.
Oh God, how annoying.
Yeah, so there's that.
I always think it's weird when directors are like dating actors. I feel like that's the case. Like I don't know how Helena Bonham Carter and like the Tim Burton situation always is, but like she's always like in a relationship with Johnny Depp in these movies, right? They're kind
Yes.
of paired up.
Always.
And it's like he's the director. Like, wouldn't that be so weird if you were like, it's like a love triangle almost, but you're like,
Yeah.
you're having to remove yourself from it to be a director. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, and now you guys do a sex scene.
Gotta
Like,
be real. I don't think anything with Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter is normal.
there's definitely
No,
they're
they're
nothing.
funky.
What's the word I'm looking for? Tradition, not a traditional love story. There, definitely not. But in this situation, it sounds like
So then
just got weird, got uncomfortable.
Florence today, she was posting a couple Instagram posts
Mm-hmm.
about her grandma. How like a year ago, her grandma wasn't going to renew her passport because she doesn't like feel like she's going to travel anymore.
Okay.
But then Florence was like, "What about like the premiere, like the red carpet
Of
for
this
the
movie?
movie?" And then her grandma decided to like get her passport and come out.
Cute.
So she posted a bunch of pictures of her and her grandma on the red carpet, but Florence had told everyone like, I'm not going to the panel
She
to talk
didn't.
about this movie because
Mm-hmm.
I'm so uncomfortable. And there's like a video of her with like wine, just like
With
that
her
her
grandma?
that her grandma took
Oh.
of her just like walking with it. And it's like all this awkward press conference. And then Florence Pugh is just like drinking with her grandma,
Mm-hmm.
spending time with her grandma. But then there's like videos out there of the press conference that are
I
really
saw that today.
awkward.
I saw
Somebody
one-
asked when the Q&A section, right?
Yeah.
And they
Yes.
asked Olivia Wilde, basically, what is the drama between Florence Pugh and the cast? And I think Olivia Wilde's answer was very good in the sense she's like, there's a lot of noise out there, and I have no intention to
Yep.
add to it.
Yep.
But we're lucky that she even came out for this at all.
But-
she's on another project.
But the camera cuts to Harry Styles, and he's like
Yep.
kind of like
Yeah.
like.
He knows what's going on. Well, they all know what's
well,
going on.
of course they do. Yeah, she obviously like is. I feel like she's the weirdo in this situation, right?
No,
Olivia
yes.
Olivia
Olivia
Wilde.
Wilde. Yeah,
I almost
she's-
called her Olivia
she's
Styles.
A little weird.
I mean, like, I don't want to play devil's advocate. I
Let's
think
hear
that
it.
Florence Pugh is in the right in the situation. And I think, like, good for her. Stand up for yourself. If that makes you uncomfortable, you shouldn't have to do it. I don't care what your contract says. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, she made the movie, you know?
Yeah,
so.
she made the movie. It's done. She did her dues, you
Yeah.
know?
If it's like, if Shia LaBeouf didn't leak what Olivia Wilde said to her, Florence Pugh would not know what's going on.
I don't know. Maybe she
I don't
would.
know. I think there's more to it.
There's gotta be more
so
to it.
much more
She's
behind
so
the scenes.
uncomfortable. But then Olivia Wilde's like, no, I want to protect you. He's out. Harry's in. But then Shia LaBeouf leaks those texts being like, Flo needs to grow
that
up.
in and of itself is a weird conversation or
Yeah.
a weird situation.
Oh, we just got an emergency
yeah.
alert.
Sure,
Heat.
it's a high
Oh,
heat
It's
warning.
a
Heat
heat.
warning.
For those not in San Diego, it's a nice, cool, 99 degrees.
Hey,
It's
for those in San
103
Diego,
in the car.
make sure you run your air conditioning.
Yeah.
It's already a bad situation because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you're signed on as Florence Pugh for this movie, and then out goes the leading male, and in comes the director's boyfriend. It's like,
Yes.
and mind you, he's a big name in Hollywood, obviously.
And they're
but,
friends.
But like
'Cause
weird.
they've hung out before.
and hooked up.
No, I don't think
I'm
so.
just saying, don't rule it out. Don't rule it out.
Don't-
So
No,
yeah,
that's all.
there's all that drama, and then the newest video that everyone is like trying to figure out is a
Okay.
video of Harry Styles going to sit back down in his seat at this film festival, and it looks as if he's turning, and it looks as if he spits something on Chris Pine,
Oh.
like a piece of gum out of his mouth,
What?
like actual spit, and then Chris Pine literally like looks down at his lap, and is like,
Like
okay.
he spat
like he
upon
literally
him?
spit in his lap. So people have slowed down this video, and it looks like a piece of gum that he literally spit into Chris Pine's lap. But
Like he accidentally did it, or
no, because then he just sits down like
why
nothing
would he?
happened.
That's so
that's
weird.
the newest like conspiracy
He
video.
spat gum at him. I saw the video where he got up and kissed Nick Kroll.
Oh, yes.
That was pretty
Oh,
funny.
Nick Kroll.
I saw a video of Nick Kroll, and I don't know who the other girl was. There's some other girl in the movie who was in the car with him, and it was like their limo pulling up, and it's all these people, and they're like, it's Nick Kroll's voice going, "We're not who you want. It's not Harry.
Oh,
it's not Harry."
Gemma, what's her face?
Yeah, someone
from
and-
Crazy Rich
And
Asians.
they're
That's
like,
funny.
"You're not gonna be excited. You don't want to
It's
see
not
us."
me.
So funny.
That's funny.
Wow.
So that was
It
all
all
the
went
drama
down at
that
the
I
Venice
saw.
Film Festival.
But
Yeah.
John said something about the
Yeah, Chris Pine made a
spitting
statement
thing.
about that. He's saying that it was the reason that he reacted. It was like an accident because he had his sunglasses in his hand, and you can see it too if you watch him in the video. He drops them by accident, and they slide like in between his legs on the chair. And when Harry comes to sit down, and then when Harry goes to sit down, at the moment that he's like leaning over, Chris said he was trying to figure out where his sunglasses went. Like he was like, he stopped to think like, where
The
did they go?
reaction was literally like,
Like he dropped
you need to see my eyeballs.
something in his. Okay.
Literally like, it looks like, because Harry like bends over and then turns to sit down, and Chris Pine goes,
Yeah, it was like perfect
like,
timing
confused.
because Chris said like that because obviously that was like the number one question everyone had after everything went.
The
And he's
number
like-
one question:
you.
Did he spit on you?
yes.
No, he did not spit.
and
on
he's
me.
like,
What a
and
weird-
Chris was like, no. And Chris explained, and you can see it. Like he puts his sunglasses like on the edge of the chair because
It's
Harry
like
was
video.
coming, and and then like they just disappear, and at the same moment he was like trying to mentally like figure out where his sunglasses went, and then he found them. But yeah, it does look like it, but it definitely wasn't. And I don't even think, honestly, in the slow down stuff, I didn't see anything come out of his mouth. But I mean,
hey, only
What's
two
so
people
funny
know
is
for
his
sure, right?
Body
Yeah.
language looks
Harry and
like
Chris.
he spit something. So
it definitely looks like it
wait,
for sure.
wait. Let me.
You can
Let's get the play-by-play on the screen, maybe, or can airplay it. No, she's just tweeting.
No. I
She's
just
tweeting.
want to show
She's
you.
tweeting. She's writing a
She's
tweet.
like,
It's fine. It's
"Lol,
fine.
I'm in the middle of recording.
fine.
You'll never guess what we're talking about this
Gosh.
week.
Well, wait for it.
I'm just trying to
Wait
find
Hold on, let me put this out.
for
Video.
You're never
it.
gonna guess
You're
what
gonna-
happened on the podcast this week.
Yeah, now
I
I'm
feel
gonna.
like
Heat
I
advisory.
just feel
Crazy.
bad because like,
For who?
well, first of all, I hear that the movie's not getting great reviews anyway.
Yeah.
Which is lame because the trailers made it look great.
The trailers made it look so
All right, the final
good.
I'm
verdict.
gonna have to rewatch it. But
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Got a little noise. Got a little music. A
it
little
literally
music.
he like jolts like he spits.
Okay. Hold on. Wait. I'm going back to it. Okay. And he spits in his lap.
Look
spits
at
in
his
his face.
reaction.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty damning.
I
We're going to go ahead and
know.
pull it up on the screen here. You're going to be able to watch it in real time with us. Right, John?
Unless you're
of course we
listening.
are.
If you're a listener, we just want to thank you again for all your support. Maybe you're listening in the car right now. Maybe you, hey, it's Friday, baby. Oh, look, there it is.
Yeah, but if you watch Chris the whole
Okay.
time, sunglasses in hand, drops
Watch-
them down, and then he's like, "Oh wait, where did my sunglasses
Did you
go?"
just,
and then grabs them.
spit in my, you just
But
spat
he
on my
like
glasses
then
and he
Harry
laughs.
Styles like looks over like it just
Hairstyle does look like a jerk in this
Like,
moment.
I will
God.
say Chris Pine has
It
a
literally
face
looks
like
like he
someone
went
that
a
got
poop.
spat at.
Yeah.
He's like,
Chris
I can't
Pine
believe you
also
just did
looks
that.
so uncomfortable just being in between.
Kind of-
Yes.
And Olivia Wilde looks like crazy. She looks like Big
He's
Bird.
hot, but he's definitely like
It's
the
because Chris
douchiest
Pine
of the
knew that
Chris's.
he had to separate them because they broke up.
Okay, everybody, favorite Chris.
Oh.
I know mine.
Oh.
There you go.
John, favorite Chris.
I'll be honest.
I forget the other Chris's.
I don't.
We've got
I'm gonna-
Pine. We've got
I'm gonna
Pratt.
rapid fire.
We've got Evans.
Yes, Pratt, Pine, Evans,
Evans,
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth.
Pine. I already said
Bale.
Pine. Bale. Oh, Chris Bale.
I think Chris Evans for me.
Oh, really?
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, because he feels. I don't. This could be totally fake, but he does feel kind of down to earthy and like anti-Hollywood,
Totally.
and I like that a lot about him.
I loved him in The Gray Man. I thought that movie was terrible, but we just
that
watched it
movie
last
was
week.
absolutely terrible.
was
but
just
he was
bonkers.
good in it. He
Yep.
was good in it.
It was like, how many action scenes can we pack into
And how long
one?
can
all
they
of
be?
them.
How long can we make this action
Yeah.
movie? That's what they sat down. They're like, how long can we make this?
How long can we put this terrible movie on for? Annie, go ahead.
I don't know. You're gonna come back to me.
Okay, Cara.
Oh, just mine.
What is it?
Hemsworth.
Yes.
It's got to be right. Mine's
gotta
Chris
be,
Angel
huh?
Mind
Love
Freak.
him. What the hell?
That's pretty good.
Angel
Mind for that is pretty good.
I was trying to find a good one like that,
Yep,
and that's
yep.
Chris
Rock.
Chris
No.
Rock.
yeah.
No. Chris
She got an
Hemsworth. Freaking Thor.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
why,
he's pretty
you just
fine.
like him because he looks good? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes. And I
okay.
love his acting. All of his roles that he's done.
For a
Mostly
long
Thor.
time, I was a
My
Chris
favorite
Pratt
is
stan, but he got kind of too big for his
Christianity.
britches.
He did.
Yeah,
Who?
Christ.
Christ.
My favorite Chris. Christ. Wow.
Dang, she got us.
Well, speaking of
Christian
celebrities, last week, you may have missed it, but in case you missed it, big celebration of life for Taylor Hawkins,
Yeah.
the drummer of the Foo Fighters.
Yes.
I've been crying all week. Turns out. Jeez.
I cried all morning. I watched it like the whole morning. I watched
Did
this.
you
She
cry?
actually cry or
I
no?
did. I
I
legitimately was crying by
Did you
myself
cry? 'Cause I
in
wasn't
my
there.
living
that.
room.
I believe you cried. I just don't believe you
his-
cried.
Did you
I-
need me to come for you?
I have
when
such
had work?
a personal connection. He doesn't know about it, but I have a personal connection to Dave Grohl, and
knows.
watching him like go through the emotions just
Hey,
really.
he might know. I sent him a letter for your birthday at one time. So
That's true. I did.
knows
I went
if he ever
right when
saw
we
it.
moved to Hollywood. I was like, Dave Grohl lives here. Maybe he'll know.
Maybe he'll, and just
Maybe I
like
could
sent
hang
a
out with
letter
him.
for his
All
birthday.
I saw
Maybe I
was
can.
Taylor Hawkins, his 16-year-old son, Oliver Shane, played the drums
That
on his
was
behalf
fantastic.
for "You Are My Hero." As pictures of, I literally
just My
being
Hero,
like,
but that's
or
fine.
My Hero, whatever.
You are my hero.
You Are My Hero. It's a remix they did.
Yeah,
actually.
it's kind of like a new song.
You are my
but
hero.
star-studded, man. Brian Johnson
Oh,
from
yeah.
AC/DC was there.
Paul McCartney. or
Paul
something?
McCartney, the members of Rush, Geddy Lee was
Did
there.
Miley Cyrus perform? or is that for the LA one? I think it's
Yeah,
for
I
the
think
LA
they're
one.
having another one. Believe it, that was in London, and they're having another
Wembley
show
Stadium.
in LA at Staples Center, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah, it looked pretty intense.
I'm so surprised my mom watched it.
Did she?
Well, yeah, she was talking about it yesterday
Well, she
at
may.
dinner, and
I
I
mean,
was like,
that clip that Annie's
What?
talking about was circling around, so that might have been.
I literally
where she saw
cried.
it.
It was just like,
maybe.
first of all, he was so good. And then
He
you just
knocked
can't-
it out of the park. He was so good. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And then like on top of that, like to imagine the emotions you must be going through to be him of like,
Mm-hmm.
the world is going to see me as I'm doing this on behalf of my dad who's no longer here.
So
who
cool.
can't see me do this for him, who can't, like,
Yep.
oh,
Yep.
so
And he
did
was so
the
good.
members of Foo Fighters,
Uh-huh.
did they play band for everyone?
a lot of people, but they were like people were switching in and out. So like Dave even jumped on the drums for a couple of songs, and then he was up playing Foo Fighters songs, and it was just like a mashup of awesome like different singers would come through and different like guitarists would come through. It was even like at one point, so Taylor Hawkins had kind of like a side project. They called it his vacation band. When the Foo Fighters weren't on tour, he'd play with his vacation band called
come on.
Obviously, you're not a real fan.
I'm not a fan, really. It was like I want to say Steel Panther, but it was something like Hot Rod.
Velvet Line.
I'll look it up later. But even those guys, they're like not celebrities at all. They're just like his buddies from home that they'd get together and play this band. And so even these guys like jumped up on stage and played some of their songs.
Wow.
Help me out, Cara.
Steel Panther is a band, though.
Steel Panther's a band, but
it's just not that one, though.
No.
Okay.
It's called Couch Potato.
It's like Kick something.
Kickball.
Taylor
Kickflip.
Hawkins band.
Taylor Hawkins
Vacation band.
No, it's like Highway.
Side band.
Highway.
Yes.
Highway
Side
to
piece.
Denny's.
It's called Side Pieces.
It's like Side Piece or something.
I'm looking.
It's called.
Cara, gosh darn it!
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's called.
Information Highway's a little slow today.
Coattail Riders.
No. Oh, that was one of them, but no, not the one I'm thinking of.
What?
It's called.
This is good podcasting, by the way.
It's-
Really good. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It doesn't really matter, right? I mean,
It doesn't really matter, but
man,
I just
he's-
want
I
to
mean,
say
if we're being
it.
honest, right?
No,
He's
no,
dead.
no,
Chill
no,
out.
no,
Be-
no.
have some
Okay,
respect.
I'm not
They
coming
may
for-
play again someday.
You know what? Screw you.
You know
Have
what?
some
It's
respect.
Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail
He's
Riders.
dead.
It's
Wow.
fine.
Or it's Coheed and Cambria, the Birds of Satan.
It's
The
fine.
Birds of Satan.
That's it.
It's the birds
It's
of Satan.
fine.
It's the birds of Satan.
You know what? It's actually fine.
It doesn't matter.
It's
Okay.
actually fine. Yeah, no, it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
Doesn't matter. He's dead. Let's go.
I saw a video. I can't remember who posted it. It might have been Dave Grohl. Of when they opened the floor, of like everyone standing in like the floor, and it's literally like the floodgates opened and all these kids, like a ton of kids,
So
got to be in the
cool.
front.
I saw a video
Cray.
of all these people doing these mashups, and it's like them like tailgating, like getting ready for the Taylor Hawkins concert, and then they get there, and it's like cuts to Dave Grohl like sobbing on stage, and everyone leaves, and they're all like really quiet.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Chevy metal.
Oh, that's cute.
Chevy metal.
Oh, like heavy
That's
metal.
cute.
Cool.
Chevy metal.
Love it.
You really
Cool.
couldn't remember that?
Guys, it
Burn.
was an emotional morning for me. Okay,
Yeah.
it was great. It was a great time.
And you
Yeah.
made special toast.
They're no Switchfoot, but they're pretty all right.
Tell them about the
Okay,
toast that you
screw
made.
you.
Okay. Yeah, I make toast now. I'm kind of something of.
Screw you, by the way.
We're gonna
How
go
was that
on.
concert? How was that
Screw
Hey,
you.
that
concert?
piano is about
They
to
were
fall off, by
great.
the way.
Good time.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
piano is about to go
Okay.
down.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool thing.
And here it is.
So how was
What was a toast? Tell us about the toast.
No, that's
No,
not good
no, no,
podcasting.
it's not good
That's
podcasting. No
I
one
had
gives a
some
shit about your
fig and
toast.
ricotta toast. Annie, you've got something in the chamber, like ready to fire off. So let's hear it.
I don't.
This is bad podcasting.
This is really bad podcasting. I don't. The only thing I even had to think of was the Brendan Fraser thing because I was crying about that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
crying a
Oh,
lot.
on that, The Rock tweeted about
Dwayne
that.
Johnson.
Get
Yeah.
out of here! I'm so sick of him. The Rock, be gone. I'm done.
Okay, but
I
this
don't want
is
to
his
see
nice
his
Oh,
thing.
big
here
bald
we
head
go.
again.
Yeah,
He
Here we go.
This is
tweeted
it.
with that video and said how proud he was of Brendan Fraser because The Rock's first thing, I guess, was The Mummy.
The Mum or no Scorpion King. Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Uh-huh.
not reboot, but
Uh-huh.
kind of reboot.
Mummy Returns.
That was his first thing into movies. That was like his
Yep.
career send off
After
And he wanted-
WWE.
No, I can make whatever he
and he
wants.
wanted to. He was
Really.
just thanking Brendan Fraser for like pretty much bringing him up in this show business. And he's just so glad that he's like.
You don't like
back
The Rock,
and-
Annie? Let's talk about that for a second.
I'm just so sick of him. I'm
How-
sick
wait,
of his
tell
face.
us what- tell
How's
us
that?
what you're sick about
of
him, though.
his
I'm
face
sick of his face.
because he's
It
in
was like-
everything.
he was in everything. For
I saw his workout
for
video,
so-
dude. Guy's ripped through and through.
Yeah,
I
he's
hate that too.
ridiculously
The guy
cool.
has
Wait,
not a week-
You can't deny how cool he is.
So you like gas
No, I
cars,
don't
but you
think
don't
he's
like working
cool.
out.
Wait,
Do you
why
like,
don't- why
do
don't
you
you
like
think he's cool?
Terramana? Do you
no,
like
you know what?
Terramana
This is
tequila?
it's another freaking
No.
Marvel thing. It's a it's a
No,
superhero movie thing.
I just don't think he's cool.
You okay?
I've never
You
thought
just
he was
don't like
funny.
stuff that's
I just
in a lot
don't-
of stuff.
That's cool.
You don't
Yeah.
like multiple of things. You just
And
like
The Rock is into
and
many
that's
things.
fine. Just own that. Like
No,
you
I
also
just
don't
kinda
like
got sick of
McDonald's.
him.
Like
I've heard a lot of interesting
you
things about The
ever
Rock
say
that I
that
don't know if they're
again.
true,
Go ahead.
I think he's great. I think he's awesome.
It's fantastic.
That's
His
great. I think the
tequila's
fact that,
great.
like,
You can have your wrong opinions.
Okay, all right. You know what? Sometimes
that's like
it's tough,
he's like
you know?
objectively good.
Like, he's
But
just.
I don't think I personally.
What do you not like about
he's
him?
not the best actor in the biz.
But what do you not like about him?
everything. I
But he's
don't
so
think
wholesome.
He's a good actor.
He's like-
but then why are we hiring him for acting when he's not a good actor? Then
He's
we have
making
like,
Because he
multi-million
has a
dollars.
name. It's his name.
we have so many amazing actors who aren't getting work.
Oh,
because
yeah,
the
but
fucking
there-
Rock
Here's
There-
why.
is in it.
Here's
Wait,
why.
hold on.
I think The Rock does, but like he can do the Disney thing. Like he's like he has the image of like Disney dad. You know, The Blind Side, right? Or sorry, no, The Blind Side. The
Blind
game
Side,
plan.
yeah.
The game plan.
Yes,
That
the
is
game
the
plan.
game plan.
I got, you know,
Strike that from the
record.
record.
I will say,
They're both football movies.
Football movie.
I
That's not what I meant. I meant a football movie
Football
by
movie,
Disney.
Football movie.
He was in The Game Plan.
With Madison Pettis.
Okay, that's
Where they
great.
do.
He was in like The Blind Side. Remember?
Shut the hell up. You know, that's not what I meant.
I will say, The Game Plan, I think, is the best movie
Great
I've
movie.
seen him in.
He can do the Disney thing. He can also do the
That's
Fast and
when
the
he,
Furious
like,
thing.
He can do the Moana
He
thing.
really went into the father
He did
figure.
Moana.
Yeah,
Come
like,
on.
He fit that role.
He did. He
But
really
then,
fit that
like,
role.
Yep.
Like Jumanji, I don't think
What?
he fit
I thought
in.
he was cool in Jumanji.
He didn't fit where?
I like Jumanji.
As opposed, like, what was working about Jumanji that?
I guess it's like all kitschy. Like he just
What was like the
working
good
that
parts
he
that he
ruined?
was ruining? Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like
I
him.
thought-
don't
listen,
him.
I didn't think
I
Jumanji was
him
like
in
a-
Moana.
Okay.
I
Okay.
thought
You didn't like him in Moana?
I
Okay,
think-
you're out of your mind.
Now that's
you know
crazy.
that?
Now you're just
out
crazy.
of control.
He perfected it. Like that role
He
was
killed
him.
that.
Yeah,
was
that
based
was a
off
pretty
of
good
him.
Fine.
Maui.
Okay.
She just doesn't like to be
It's a hot
on the
take.
right
Do you know
side of
that-
history.
She thinks she's
Did
taking
you
a hot
guys know
take.
that Maui was supposed to be bald
Yeah.
because The Rock is bald?
They were modeling it
but
after
they
him.
literally were like, no.
No,
Too
he's a
weird.
big
That
Samoan
would've-
guy.
See, and that would have pissed me off so much.
But
Really?
they didn't do
Because
it.
yeah,
It's not
'cause then they're
historically
just
accurate at all.
animating
Like
him.
it's not.
You're right. It's not historically accurate at all. If he was bald, like that would
That
have been
would've
just like
ruined it.
way
No,
off
but
course.
that's not the culture. That's so annoying. They already appropriated so much of the culture anyway.
In
What?
Moana,
What?
that movie was like famous for being like super culturally like sound. Like they were like. They did. You know what? I'm not
She's
doing
out of
this with you. Like, okay, you're
She's
taking
trying to
a
piss us
stance.
off.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she is.
Maybe I've just seen it too. I love the movie. I
It's a
just don't like him in
fantastic
it.
movie.
It is a great movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I think the song he has is awful. Like
You
I
talking about
hate.
they gonna rumble?
No.
They gonna take your face
Yeah.
off?
You're
They gonna
welcome. That one's
rumble.
great. That one's
They
a
gonna take
great
your face
song.
off.
Okay, but
It's
would
about
you
God.
would
It's
you
about
rather
power.
have
Stay
had
hungry.
You're
We don't
Welcome
know.
or Shiny?
Oh,
Both of
that's a
them
great
were.
song.
They're
Great
the
song.
two
Hey,
worst
come
songs
on.
in the whole
Shiny
Right.
can
song.
go. Freaking Jermaine, what's his face?
Yes, Jermaine Clemens.
Goodbye.
Did you ever watch Flight of the
Goodbye.
Conchords, John?
No.
We're gonna watch some of that after
Ryan
the show.
literally is obsessed with Flight of the Conchords,
It's
and it's
this
these
like
two like
Aussie
improv guys.
New Zealanders,
Oh,
and
it
it's from
sounds
like the
funny.
early 2000s.
Oh, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, the Rhinoceros. Come on.
No.
What's it called?
Come on,
Effing up
you
my
guys.
ish.
Okay, back it
Too
up.
many
I just don't-
You have
motherfuckers.
someone that you're sick of in Hollywood.
many
There is. Who is it?
No.
Oh yeah.
None of them.
Well,
Who's your
Chris
least favorite,
Pratt.
Chris?
Oh, you hate. Why? Yeah. Why don't you like Chris Pratt?
Okay,
It's kind
so
of the same thing as The Rock. Like, he's just too many things.
I don't think. Yeah, actually, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
so,
but not.
thank you.
But The Rock hasn't gotten old for me yet. I'm still into
Okay,
The Rock.
We're in different
Chris
phases.
Pratt. I feel like Chris Pratt started getting roles, and that changed his schwa. Like
Yeah.
he
True.
had such
I
a
agree.
good thing when he was on Parks and Rec.
He had,
and
like, this
not just
corny,
like,
like-
oh, I think he should play the goofy
It's
fat
'cause he got-
character.
he got ripped.
I don't think that. And I think when he started doing Guardians of the Galaxy, that
Funny.
was awesome.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it's
great.
He
good
was
for that.
killing it, and he was hot in that. And it was like,
Goofy.
okay, cool. And now it's like he knows he's hot.
The
Yeah.
Jurassic World
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
movies.
What I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
gotcha.
Dwayne Johnson like knows he's cool, but in like a like your dad knows he's cool kind of way, you know? Like,
Oh, that I agree with that.
you know what I mean?
agree
Chris
with that.
Pratt is cool. Like
You
he
know,
thinks
I
he's
will
cool in
say-
like a I'm at the gym working out in public kind of way.
I will
you know?
say because
Oh.
I am kind of just sick of his face, I do scroll past a lot of content of him. So maybe.
You're talking about Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah, maybe I would
Oh.
like his character more if I actually give him a chance.
She's
Maybe.
backtracking.
You scrolled past Moana the movie. You like
No, I think that might be what made me sick of him is nannying and watching it a million
Oh,
times.
probably.
okay. Now we're
Probably.
getting to the root of it.
Have you guys seen the video of him and his daughter watching
Is-
Moana?
Trying to
and
convince her
his
that he's
charac-
Maui.
His character comes up and he's like,
That's me.
he starts talking and he's like, hey, do you recognize that voice? And she's like, Maui! He's like, no,
That's
that's
awesome.
me. And she's like, no, it's not. It's Maui.
I heard Tom Hanks did that with his kids. Like when they were watching Toy Story. He's like, hey, howdy, hey, and they were like,
I do have something
That's
in the
weird.
chamber.
okay,
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
Tom Hanks just unlocked this.
Oh.
I was
okay.
granted.
Should we let's pause that for a second? Least favorite celebrity?
Okay, yeah, we should go through that.
I don't know that I have one like off the top of my head. Nobody really. I mean,
Is there anybody like in the the public eye right now that you're just like you certainly get it?
In the public eye right now.
oh, that's interesting.
Like who's like hot right now that you just don't really get it? Like Annie's is obviously Dwayne Johnson. He's hot right now.
Yeah, and I don't get it.
I'll be honest with you. I've never really understood Cardi B. Like I've just never gotten it. I always thought she was like
she's just like wild.
She's not as
crazy.
relevant as Megan Thee Stallion.
And
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
I just don't get Cardi B at all. Like I respect that she makes music that people like,
Okay.
and I think she probably
her
deserves
whole
the
thing
fame
is
that she has.
she grown from being a stripper to like this giant
And
career.
The hustle. But I don't know if that
I
makes
don't
her
know.
music
Get her.
better necessarily.
No, it's just the story.
I don't like her music, and I just think like generally I just don't like her vibe mostly. I mean, just like nah.
Just like
It's just like too much. Like
Like
she's
the
just
records show that John is lying. His number one song in 2021,
Yeah.
Spotify Wrapped, was WAP.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Also,
Is she on that song?
is
I'm not
way
quite sure.
too
I think
aggressive.
so.
That song
song
is
way
so
too-
aggressive.
Yeah, it's
I think
Maybe
way
that's
too
why-
Cardi
aggressive.
B and
Megan Thee Stallion.
maybe that's why they
both.
made it. So that
Sure.
you would think that it's aggressive.
Sure,
I
yeah.
imagine that's why.
Yeah.
It's
A lot
like,
of those songs get made because it's just
Like if Cardi B just like fell
counterculture.
off the map tomorrow, I'd be like, meh.
I
Sure.
think it's this like
I re-
intense. Do I personally feel like it's kind of intense? Yeah.
No.
Are you going
Yes.
to bat for Cardi B right now and
Yeah,
not The Rock?
I'm
Cool.
just saying like the
For sure.
whole genre of that because
Makes
there's a
sense.
lot of music that's doing that.
Yes.
Like really intensified sexualization of women.
The
but
one,
by women.
the one right now is the I can lick it, I can ride it while I slip
Isn't
it
that the
and
same
slide
song?
it. Nope.
No. And I
okay,
think
great.
it is also Cardi B, but it's a different song. But I think it's
almost
almost like in the wake of the Me Too, it's like
Yes.
taking back women's sexual
Uh-huh.
being sexualized, but like by women.
Yes.
And do I think it's kind of a weird move into?
It definitely is.
Yeah, it's strange to me because I'm like
It's kind of
well, now
crossed
we're
the
just-
line of being confident about your sexuality
and now you're
into
just
like
yeah.
Here's the thing.
Cringy.
It's
Yeah,
not my
as a
cup of
man.
tea as music, like her style of music. I can respect the hustle.
Oh, yeah.
That she came up from the bottom and now she's
Yeah.
this megastar. But that being said, I love anything that like makes people clutch their pearls, like things like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I
I would
believe
never.
you would say
Like,
you
Not
just
to
turned
clutch
into like a
the pearls.
90-year-old woman.
exactly. Like, my pearl.
Clutch my
Like,
pearls.
I would never. Like, I love stuff that does that, just for the sake of doing that. Not necessarily like that's a good message necessarily, but like the fact that it makes people like, because like, why do we feel that way,
I think I
about
have
society?
something
I just
you
like
hate,
that.
you hate more than Chris Pratt.
Let's hear it.
Amy Schumer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's pretty
Okay,
rough.
Yeah.
so she does a similar thing. Her whole joke is
Yes.
like, my vagina itches. Like, that's her whole bit, right? She's obviously come out of that a little bit now. That was like,
Now
for sure, her
kind of
stand
joke
up.
is she has an autistic
Also, she was like
husband.
stealing
Yeah.
jokes for a long time. You know
Yeah,
that?
yeah. No, she
Yes.
definitely was.
Yeah.
That whole deal. But like, I don't know. So maybe I do care about that. Like, as long as it's directed in a way that, she's just annoying.
Yeah.
But whatever. I watched that I Feel Pretty movie and she was like trying to do the same thing. Like, I'm an actress and I'm, the Melissa McCarthy thing,
Yeah.
And nobody does Melissa McCarthy like
Like
this.
Melissa McCarthy. That's
She's funny.
True.
Wait, Cara, who are you sick of in Hollywood?
Ooh, sick.
I don't think I've ever been sick of anyone. It's more like, so recently we finished the second season of Only Murders in the Building,
Yes.
Love.
and there was
Great
one
show. You watched
character
that yet,
who was
Jen?
in
Very
like
good, yeah,
the
it's
entire
pretty good.
season who I just wanted to punch, and it was Cara Delevingne.
Yeah.
I was
She
like,
should not act.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
King.
Yeah.
it
She
was
should
Steve
not
Martin.
act. It was just like nails on a chalkboard.
Yep.
Like every time she came on screen, I was like,
Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Love Selena Gomez though.
She's
Love
great.
her.
She's made a
Love
great
her.
transition
She's going through a
to
good moment right
back,
now.
I guess
Oh,
back
with
to TV
Rare
because she
Beauty?
started
Oh.
in Disney Channel.
Yeah.
It's weird to think that she was on Disney Channel and then did music. Now she's kind of like back to where she started, which is like a TV
Yeah.
Actor. Yeah.
Well, and she owns
First of all,
a giant makeup
backtrack
company.
it. She did not start on Disney Channel.
Okay.
She started on Barney.
Barney.
All right.
That's right.
With
that's
Demi
right.
Lovato.
Respect for
They're
Barney.
BFFs.
Wow.
Okay, but speaking of
Okay,
stars,
so you came in hot. I'm sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
cut
what
you off.
that reminded me of is I went down this rabbit hole the other day.
Oh.
I saw this video. I've been on my For You page on TikTok. I get these videos about those like intense, abusive wilderness camps that parents send their disobedient children to.
It's
And
like,
they have
hey,
to-
you're going to, you have
going-
an appointment. You have something. You're going to your grandma's house. Pack a bag.
Then they
Southern
send their
What is
kids.
this?
So they send
This
their
is
kids.
a real thing?
Yeah, it's like a
Uh-huh.
behavior.
Like you're talking like
camp.
teen challenge
It's
or
like teen
No,
rehab.
It's like teen
rehab.
Yeah, that's what
And
Teen
so
Challenge
they,
is.
They walk in the woods. They'll just like aimlessly have them like hiking and walking.
Yeah.
And then they get like if you behave well, there's like a hierarchy of like snitching on each other. And if you behave well enough, you can maybe get a phone call. You have to be like monitored though. If you if you try to signal to your parents that you want to go home, like you get no contact to the outside world. They like will have like these extreme punishments, all this stuff.
where does this happen? Not here in California.
Oh, it
No
happens like all
way.
over the U.S.
Really?
Yeah. So it's all these survivors that I always get that
Okay.
like come up and they're like, yeah, this is what
This
it
was my
like.
1 month sophomore year
And
of high school in the summer.
It really came out because Paris Hilton went to one.
Okay.
And
Oh.
a couple months back, it came out that like they were talking about like this school program that they went to, and all these survivors of this like wilderness school thing like were speaking out, and they're like, yeah, and Paris Hilton was with us, and she came out to say like, yeah, no, they're telling the truth.
That's crazy.
It was very abusive.
I don't know
It was
if
very
I
horrible.
trust her much after that whole like I've been doing a bit my whole life thing.
Oh.
You know
No,
what I mean?
you should have watched the documentary. It was very good.
Okay.
That's
okay.
funny. That's funny. I've been
Didn't
doing a
watch it.
bit
I'll have
my
to
whole
watch
life.
that.
But
Right?
So
Isn't
I
that what she
saw-
said? Like,
Yes,
I'm
she's
not
actually
an
very-
airhead. Like,
she's
I'm
very
actually very
smart.
smart.
well, I mean, you can't. I never thought she truly was that much of an airhead since
No,
she
'cause
owns
that's like-
billion-dollar companies
Right.
and
Her
From
show
her dad.
it was literally such a character.
no, she like.
But her
she's-
dad was rich.
Yeah, but I don't think she
Mr.
really
Tipton.
got a.
Mr. Tipton.
They really called that character London
Yeah.
Tipton.
Tipton,
yeah.
That's so funny.
That's pretty funny.
Paris Hilton.
Yeah, no, I get
Get
the
it? Because
joke.
it's like
Yeah,
the
it was,
hotel, name of the hotel, but like
yeah,
in like
but just
a
like her.
European city.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And so I saw it came up, and it was Tom Hanks' son Chet.
Okay.
Chet.
And he was talking about how he was like really into drugs, super like rebellious kid.
Chet
and-
Hanks, you're saying?
Yeah, and Tom Hanks sent him to one of those wilderness camps.
Yeah.
And he's
Okay.
like, I believe my
Wow.
father thought he was doing his best, and I don't believe my father knew like what was happening behind the scenes. But it was this whole thing of like Tom Hanks basically like he was like gonna go out drinking and smoking, and Tom Hanks was like, "This is your last chance. If you walk out those doors, your life's gonna change forever."
Well.
And he was like, "Okay, Dad, whatever," and walked out and like came home, and like the
He
people
was
from
gonna
the
go to camp.
the people from the camp were there, and they're like, "Pack a bag, you're coming with us." Like,
It's like major rehab.
I feel like
It's like
it's
3
kind of a rich
months.
person thing, right? I mean,
Is it?
it's got
I'm
to
sure
be
it
like
has to
wealthy
be
people.
to
Well,
some
like
degree.
a secretive like rehab for your kid that no one really knows about.
I mean,
yeah,
okay.
it's a rich
so,
people thing for
Easy.
sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's say you're Tom Hanks, right? Because let's walk through. I mean, obviously that it seems like, yeah, and you're
He's-
like
he's
nowadays with all of that coming out, it's like you're scarring your kid for life, right?
Yeah.
Is like kind of the
Well,
vibe.
and then there's been he's had some heat in the news. Like,
Uh-huh.
there's that video of like a paparazzi bumping into Rita Wilson, and he like
Oh,
flips
yeah.
his lid, and he's like, "That's my fucking wife. Back the
King.
fuck up."
King.
All this
Yep.
stuff.
I stand
Which-
by that.
Like,
Sure,
yeah,
definitely
I think
should
that,
be.
but
Fuck
it was like,
paparazzi.
it was like,
if
oh,
it's
shit,
ever
what?
like anyone versus the paparazzi, like
Yeah,
I'll go with them. Like
yeah.
it could be like Satan.
I'm not
Whoever
saying
it
he's
is,
in like
whoever it is.
Satan versus the paparazzi. You're going
yeah.
to Satan.
Well,
He had-
it's the paparazzi. and
Yeah, I really when I watched that Britney documentary and they explained the whole situation where she hits the paparazzi, the infamous photos after
yes,
she shaves her head
at the gas station, right?
Yeah, at the gas station, and
They're
she's like
just
the
the
umbrella.
scum of the earth, like
And
right?
they interviewed the paparazzi that took the photos. Like
Yeah.
he was the one talking to her, and he's like, she grabbed my umbrella and started just hitting back because I wouldn't leave her alone. I kept on asking about her kids. I was
Crazy.
like, yeah, bro, of course.
So that's what you're up against as Tom Hanks, right? And
Yeah,
you've got this
yeah,
son.
no,
so you have two options. You can either have a very public life with this son that is like addicted to drugs. He's going out all the time. He's like being just a general delinquent, right? And
Or
you
you
can
send
do
him to
that,
this camp.
or you're like, hey, you know what? Like, Tim Allen just told me about this camp. One of his
Allen.
other celebrity
Tim
friends.
Allen.
I imagine this is during the filming for Toy Story.
Yeah.
He's like, hey,
Yeah.
what about this camp? Wow. I can't.
I
do
just
a
can't
Woody.
imagine like
No, you can't.
a family
That was
that
bad.
wasn't wealthy. Like this camp's got to cost
afford
a
to
lot
do
of
this.
money. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I feel like a family that wasn't as wealthy has to be like, okay, well, I have to like discipline my child, like actually take
Right.
responsibility. You know?
But
Well, yeah,
it's such a
easy
hard
to-
thing, right?
It's easy if you have money to sign your kid up for.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
expensive rehab real
like
quick.
Tom Hanks doesn't have time. Like he's out there making movies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He doesn't, I don't agree with this, but I think in his brain he goes like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna spend $30,000, and this camp's gonna straighten my son out to some degree.
And by the end, you know, and that's just something that like in dealing with, you know, like addiction and stuff and that kind of lifestyle, like you don't just come out on the other side like all good. And obviously
Yeah.
we're seeing from all these TikToks, it's like maybe it did even more damage, taking you away from your support system, putting you out there in the woods with somebody that's going like, hey, you need to change.
Well, I
Everything
think
about you is wrong. Like
It's kind of like what prison does,
Uh-huh.
where it breaks down your sense of humanity. Like
Yes.
you're no longer a human; you are just
Sure.
to do what
And
they
the
tell
trust
you.
in the people that you thought cared for you.
Yeah, and then they just send you back, and they're like, "Take what you've learned,
Mm-hmm.
aka do exactly what you're told, and go back
I
into society."
I
in
like
the
to
woods.
think that whoever established this camp is like means well, though. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know.
Well, probably because
like
the whole
is somebody
point,
just like, hey, I'm gonna set up shop out in the woods and take people's money and then yell at kids? Like, is
No,
that
'cause
really
I think,
somebody's journey right
The
now?
whole point of this like camp thing was
Uh-huh.
it was supposed to you're supposed to connect with nature.
Sure.
Like, get rid of all the
Fantastic.
substances, all this stuff,
Uh-huh.
and connect with nature.
Sure.
Not to say that marijuana is not nature. Probably because back
Dang,
then it was
okay.
a lot of like
Okay, Cara,
kids
pop
smoking
off.
weed, like bye, go to camp. But that was probably the whole like start of it.
Yeah.
And now I bet that person who started it was like, what the heck did this turn into?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is the guy that established AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, they actually kicked him out of the organization because his whole he took mushrooms and like changed his tune. He was like, "You guys, the road to recovery is do mushrooms." Like that was like his whole
Whoa.
thing. He was like, "I've seen the light. It fully has rewired my brain. Like this is how I quit alcohol now for real is I did mushrooms." And they were like, "Yeah, that can't be our message,
nope,
bro." Like
nope.
and he's still, I don't know if he's still around, but that was like for the rest of his life, he was like, I'm doing my own Alcoholics Anonymous. Do mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Well, that's like
It's psychedelics.
the girl who
GM, do
invented the
mushrooms
5
instead of
stages of
A.
grief.
Go
The
ahead.
girl who invented the 5 stages of grief rejected them. So, fun fact: 5 stages of grief are actually created for people who are grieving their own lives and dying,
Okay.
not for loved ones. That's why people are like, that doesn't count. Like, it doesn't. You don't actually go through it. Well, it makes more sense when you project it of like it's actually for the person who is dying, not like the final stage of acceptance and being willing to
And
go.
the
stuff.
creator renounced it
she was
because
dying of cancer, and she
Okay.
literally was like, "That's effing dumb. Those are so stupid."
like, yeah, fuck that.
and
Like
I
this doesn't actually work.
Literally, I listened to an interview of NPR went and like interviewed her. It was this whole thing about like the stages of grief, and it was like, yeah, she like renounced them at the end of her life that they were dumb
What?
idea.
Maybe
and
she
they're not
didn't
Is
do
the
them
first
right.
is it the first one denial?
Yeah.
It's like denial, anger, like
Bargaining.
bargaining,
Do mushrooms.
sadness, depression,
mushrooms,
acceptance, right?
Acceptance, yeah.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, do mushrooms. It's
Do
like the big
that's, like, in
sixth
there.
It's a
stage.
big one, you know.
Do mushrooms.
Don't
I
be
mean-
sad. Do mushrooms.
Yeah, so whatever. Like
it's
at
a
the
little
end, you
mushroom,
get
like, with
to
a
the
happy
end of
face.
your life, you realize it was all wrong, and you change your mind, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
big
Yeah,
deal.
sure.
She did
Do
it.
mushrooms. Well, she died.
I don't know that anything is ever designed to last forever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what the framers of the,
The
Constitution
US
said, right?
Constitution.
They literally said, like, "Hey guys, like 30 years from now, you
Things
need
are
to
gonna
rewrite
change.
these,
Yeah.
like,
And
you
we
should
just said,
adjust
nope.
this. So we said,
etch them in
Well,
stone."
some things last forever, like plastic.
Oh, go ahead.
oh shoot.
jeez.
Just
you have-
saying.
You have something
Like-
in there?
She's like,
There are
nothing-
things that last forever.
Microplastics.
Plastic. More plastic.
Stop buying plastic.
Man, we saw that Nope movie
Stop.
last weekend.
That was good.
What'd you think of that?
Whoa.
I liked it.
Yeah, what'd you guys think?
Okay, I'll say this. I didn't like it more than the other movies I've seen of his.
Okay.
But I still
Jordan
really
Peele's
liked
movies.
it. I thought that all the actors in it did a good job. They were great actors.
Yeah, talk about Disney Channel reinventing themselves, dude.
Freaking
Kiki Palmer.
I love her.
Come
I love
on.
her. I love
But
her.
like,
That was funny.
Did you say Disney Channel?
you could see the
Yeah,
light.
she was on-
she was on True
Nickelodeon.
Jackson.
Thank you.
Nickelodeon.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Whatever.
get it
You know what I
right.
mean.
Nickelodeon.
Actually, no. I think she did do a Disney Channel movie. I think Spelling Bee.
She did Jump In.
jump in.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
But she was originally
Akilah and the
Nickelodeon.
Bee. Thank
She
you.
was
Akilah
originally
and the Bee.
Nickelodeon.
Well,
Okay.
which came first? Who's to say? We're
Doesn't matter
We're a
now.
little late. This movie came out like 2 months ago, but this weekend was National Cinema Day.
Cinema Day.
Oh my
$3.
gosh, I have a
Boy.
story
See,
for you.
Freaking
And
hottest
boy.
day of the week.
Did you
Yes,
see
hottest day of the year.
how many it brought in? 8 million people.
To who?
Yeah.
To movie
all
theaters.
just across the nation, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow. Hey, what do you think, John? Do you enjoy that World Cinema Day?
Bro, I told you about my story. I didn't tell you guys though. So, Bobby and I went to see Nope during
Who's
the day, and my brother Bobby.
it's
Robert Albright.
Albright.
We planned to see a 9:30 scare. It was supposed to be suspenseful, but it was scary. We didn't see it. That's
What was
bad.
the
It was
movie? What was the
ending. It
movie
was
you
called
almost
The
saw?
Invitation.
What happened?
So we bought the tickets, and I was thinking like 9:30. Like it'll be kind of chill. It's a scary movie, so it's gonna be adults. Like it'll be a great movie, right?
Mind you, this is a Saturday night,
Yeah.
hottest day of the year, and you're in
Yeah.
El Cajon, right?
Yeah,
You're
I went.
Santee.
We went to El Cajon,
To a
the
mall.
Regal there, right?
Big mistake.
And Bobby and I are like, first of all, I know it's Cinema Day, and we had a great experience.
$3 movies. That's how do you go
I
wrong
will
with
say
that?
when we walked out of our movie, I was shocked at how many people were in the theater.
Oh, the place was packed. I've
There
never
were
seen so
people
many
sitting
people
on
at the
the
Fashion
floor
Valley
waiting.
Yeah,
Mall.
you know why? Because
Why?
it was like 105 degrees.
And it was
a
the air
perfect-
conditioning
it was
was
a
kicking in
perfect
there.
day to go to
you'd
the
think
movies.
you'd think it would be.
And we sat in the very first row, and I'll say I never thought that would be an enjoyable experience.
You
It
sat
was
in
fun.
the front.
Yeah,
It wasn't
the place
so
was
bad.
packed.
It
And
wasn't
we,
so bad.
we
was
only had
packed.
certain tickets
Oh,
to buy.
gosh.
So
Kind of made Nope pretty awesome.
we
but-
had a great experience. So I thought, oh great, the later movie's gonna be, it's a scary movie, so it's like rated R. So I'm like, there's gonna be no kids. It's gonna be great. And it's late, and I had to get up early the next morning, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go see this movie with my brother. It's gonna be great.
Awesome.
We always love to debrief movies. We love to talk about movies. Him and I. We just like to go and then debrief on the way home. It's gonna be fun, right? We get snacks at Walmart, the whole thing. We walk in, and immediately I was like, this is not going to go well. Like, first 2 rows are like high school students,
Oh.
and they're loud. They're like, this is previews, so this is just like, preview stuff. So, but they're talking, and I thought, okay, well, maybe they'll quiet down when the movie starts. Like that's my hope, right?
Yes.
But they're talking, and they're very rambunctious. Like, they're getting up and down, they're running to each other, back and forth, and I thought, they're high school kids. There's normal high school kids. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So we get to our row. Someone's sitting in our seat, which, by the way, I didn't know, like, all the seats are assigned now, apparently. Maybe
Yeah.
they always were, and I
at
never
the Fashion
noticed.
Valley they are. Some
Well,
movie
they were
theaters
they were
not.
assigned at this one too,
Yeah.
'cause and somebody was in our seats.
Oh, you didn't go to Fashion Valley.
And I was like, okay, whatever. And then on the far end of our row, there's this like 12-year-old kid, and immediately we sit down, my phone starts buzzing. People are trying to airdrop me stuff, like
I
high
hate
schooler
this.
stuff.
Hate.
I
Yeah.
hate this.
Hate.
It's high schooler stuff, right? And so then to our right side, we have these 2 high school girls with their parents, I assume, and they're like full on talking and have their phones out. And I thought, okay, hold on, maybe when the movie starts, everyone will get serious, right? Because
Everybody's just happy to be
they're
there.
just happy. And it's-
yeah,
and it's
whatever. They're
cinema
having a
day,
crazy
I get it,
time.
right?
Bunch of high schoolers.
movie starts, nothing changes. Everyone is still fully talking.
You know
5
why?
minutes before.
everyone has probably already seen the movie.
Get
and
this.
They're there for the
No,
cool-
you've never
It
seen
gets
this.
worse.
You've never seen this. 5 minutes before the movie starts, I'm backtracking a little bit. A woman, dead serious, carries in a baby carrier. A newborn baby is in the row in front of us. Literally sets up the
9:30 at
thing
night,
in-
an R-rated movie on a Saturday.
Not to mention, she has a newborn baby. She has probably an 8, 10, and 12-year-old
No.
kid in the row with
No.
her. And then dad's there too. And I'm like, I lean over to Bobby. I'm like, these parents did not want to pay for a babysitter.
No.
They're
Nope.
just bringing the kids.
Yep.
And,
And they
they're
wouldn't.
thinking like,
No.
oh, they're young enough. They won't remember it or be scared or whatever.
Oh.
It's a scary movie, you guys. It's a scary movie. So then I'm like,
Did you tell him that?
no, I didn't say anything. And so then we start the movie, and the kid on the left, it's just like, he's laughing, really loud. He's talking about something on his phone. He's looking at his phone the whole time, and then he's saying like, "Oh, I just farted," but like full
gosh.
volume. Airdrops are coming in, and I was like, "Okay."
What are
I'm
they
gonna-
airdropping you, like memes?
I didn't open it. I turned my airdrop off. I was like, I don't even want to open it. I don't. And Bobby was like, I'm not even gonna do it either. And then I was like, okay, Bobby, I'm gonna run to guest services. I'm just gonna really politely say, hey, this theater's really out of control. Because I'm telling you,
You Karen'd out for a
no,
minute.
no, no.
You had
I'm
to do
telling
it.
you,
1000%.
if you were there, it was absolutely insane. It was insanity. We were not the only people that walked out because we walked out with like 2 other couples. At the end, we walked out after this. So I go out to the guest services and I get this really nice guy. I'm like, hey man, I understand it's cinema day and
it's
like
going
I know
down in there.
I said, I know you it's been a long day for you and I'm really like I know you had a crazy day, but this is out of control. Like I can't watch the movie. And he's like, he was so nice. Yeah, he's like, totally understand it. Like, you guys should be able to watch the movie. I'll come in like 5 minutes. Cool. Comes in. He talks to all the kids in the front row. Wow. He's like, he individually talks to them and even talks to their parents. and then.
Shoot.
Yeah, their freaking parents are there. Like,
right. Parents are there too, right? And so then he leaves. Everything goes back to normal. And like the guy, the family of 5 in front of us, the guy takes the baby out of the carrier. He's holding him like this in front of like directly in front of me. And Bobby and then they're talking behind us. Everyone's talking in the theater. The teenagers are talking. So then the teenagers are talking, and I look over at Bobby, and I'm like, they're dead serious, and they heard me.
Oh, they heard you say it. You said that out loud.
They heard me. They heard me say dead serious, and they like kind of put their phones away. And Bobby's like, that kind of worked. And but the kid on the end was talking, and then finally, like 20 minutes in, Bobby and I are like, let's just go.
This isn't working.
It looked like a great movie. Like we're gonna go back and see it. But like it was not. So we walk out and we kind of like start something. So like 2 other couples stand up with us and they walk out. And Bobby hears one of the high schoolers go say bye as we're walking by.
Hate,
and I was
hate.
We see the guys, we're walking out, and I'm like, hey man, we're just gonna head out, like no big deal. Like, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, I get it. Like it's the craziest day of the year for you, I'm sure. Like, I'm so sorry you had to deal with it. Because I imagine they're dealing with this all.
Yep.
And we saw, and you told me about a TikTok, which I sent you because I came across it too.
Crazy. They were like kicking people out. This whole movie theater, they shut down every movie because all these kids were walking in and out of the theaters to watch all the. They only paid $3 for their ticket, and they're like seeing every movie. They just shut them all down.
And that was happening too, where the kids at the front were like, every 5 minutes they were getting up and going out of the theater and coming back in. And one girl was like, got up and like reached over the railings and was like screaming "F you" to the person behind him. And I was like, me and Bobby were just like, this is absolutely insane. Like it is so crazy.
Did they run out of popcorn?
They must have.
Because it wasn't like $5 drinking popcorn too.
Well, Bobby and I started to piece together like, okay, reality is the parents out there that don't want to deal with their kids, especially on a Saturday, that maybe work a job that they have to work on Saturdays, they probably drop their kids off with a $20 bill and was like,
oh yeah, see all the movies you want.
Go see all the movies and
get out of my face.
And that's why that's the only thing that made the sense, because these kids were like they were acting like as if they were just hanging out. And I was like, so you clearly didn't watch you're not here for the movie, you're just here for the air conditioning and maybe the dark room of just like hanging out and talking.
Nothing is more terrifying to me these days than a high schooler.
Oh yeah,
they're absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it's awful.
Oh, for me it's like a 7th, 8th year old.
Oh yeah,
like a 7th, 8th grade boys.
No, high schoolers are so bold now. It is not.
Those middle schoolers I can almost deal with because like they're still kind of goofy and weird. High schoolers think they've got it figured out, and they're like, and I love John Mulaney's bit. Like they'll make fun of you in an accurate way.
Yeah.
They find your insecurities.
Funny. Oh yeah, they'll get you.
I volunteer with the high school ministry at a church I used to attend.
Yeah, you do.
And and I tell them all the time, I'm like, you guys don't think that I get scared every time I come here?
Oh my God,
like, I'm
they're
worried
terrifying.
that you guys are gonna make fun of my outfit every single time I show up here. They're like, no. I go, yeah.
Every time.
You guys are intense. Like in there, I posted a Be Real.
Yeah.
In which we were at a party that was playing literally water pong.
Nice.
Oh.
And,
I'm familiar.
And a student tried to FaceTime me, and I didn't see it, and I didn't answer. And she freaking screen records her with the denied FaceTime. Then she swipes up to Be Real and sees that I'm a party that has like beer pong set up, even though it's water.
Way.
And she just goes back to the FaceTime, and she's like,
oh, they know. Hey, they know how to use those FaceTimes and those screen records.
It was so intense.
Also, you have them on Be Real.
Oh yeah,
Well,
it's slippery
I
slope.
won't
Oh,
make
that's
it.
that's
I won't make it to
public.
Be
That's the
Real.
problem. Now, John, I know you're a lot like me.
Go ahead.
And if you are, then you wanted to say something to these kids, but you didn't. And now you've had enough time to think about the perfect thing to tell these kids off.
I thought about. I've been thinking about it since it happened. And I'll be honest. Like if I could go back, I probably still wouldn't say it because Bobby is the most like confrontational person you'll ever meet.
Let's say Bobby was there. Let's say I was
Bobby
there.
also, by the way, if you started getting into like a physical altercation with somebody, Bobby would vaporize. He would vaporize into midair.
Really?
And by the way, it's proven. Every instance where he's been with somebody who's gotten in either a verbal or like a physical thing with somebody, his reaction is to run. So he immediately starts to back up and like will go the other direction. He will not have your back in any way, shape, or form.
Perfect, Bobby.
And so, so I could have probably said something.
So let's say I was there,
if
and
were there,
you had, maybe a bev in you.
I was going to go to the front of the theater and be like, just so you guys know,
Shut up.
this is
Shut
not how you watch a movie, and then just walk away.
Wow.
Oh, you know what I would have said in that
Boom.
situation?
Silence in the theater.
I would have walked up to the group of high schoolers, and I just hold my hand out and go, okay, someone give me $3.
Yep.
And
Straight
then
up.
go, what? And I go, well, you just ruined the movie for me, so give me $3. Give me
Straight
my money
up.
back.
Honestly,
Yes.
I
Like,
wish.
Who's gonna pay for my ticket?
Truthfully,
Which one of you is gonna pay for my ticket?
I wish that
Then they'd be like, Karen.
I wish that I
Yep.
could say it was just the high school students, but I'm telling you, like, even
mom,
the
too,
kids,
really
even
didn't
the
come through for
kids
you.
on the right side, their parents were also talking about like, just like normal stuff.
telling
Like,
you.
oh, did you hear
I'm
that?
telling you, they
That
did not
Tracy
come for
said
the
this,
movie. They came
and I
for the
was like,
air.
Yep. The
I was
hangs.
literally, I was like fuming.
I
I
hate
was
that.
so
Seeing
angry
red.
because I was like, and it's the worst situation because it's the cheapest movie. So if I try to complain to get my money back, I'm the guy
No.
that's asking for $3 back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would have gone back for a voucher. I think at least
I didn't think
they
about
can
that.
do
That's a good
is get
idea.
a voucher for a movie. I mean,
And I
Yeah, but
felt
then it's
bad.
like, yeah, but you only paid $3 when our movies are actually
yeah,
12
and I
on
can't
normal
watch
days.
the damn movie because there's like a bunch of juvenile delinquents in
I
here.
felt bad that
Where's my $3?
I felt for the workers because I had a friend that
Yeah.
used to work at that movie theater. And
That just
he had
sucks.
all these stories about people that were just the worst. And I
Terrible.
felt like, in that moment, I this doesn't happen to me, but in that moment, I thought of him and I thought, imagine having that job and then coming into a day where like thousands of people
Yep.
are coming through.
Hate
like,
it.
it would be the worst day at work. And so
Cara,
I was like, I don't want to make it worse for
What
him.
would you have said to those kids that day?
Well, if I was with you,
Okay.
I would have held you back. From saying
Okay. Thank
anything,
you.
'cause
Fair.
I'm always
Cara.
holding you back.
What would we have,
my
what would we have
queen.
said together?
That's my
You
queen.
think?
I've
guys
got
would have done
I've got
an
it in the
interpretive
chamber.
dance.
Good.
I've got it in
What
the
would you
chamber.
say, Cara? Do you care that much, by the way? First of all, could you
No.
watch a movie in that scenario?
Yes.
You could.
Yes.
And you would have stayed for the whole thing?
No, she would have been tapping on the glass going, subtitles.
Where are the
Subtitles.
Where are the
That's true.
subtitles?
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
We love the
but let's
subtitles.
say you were particularly PO'd that day.
She'd be in the back. Turn on the
Turn on the
subtitles.
subtitles.
She'd be with him. She'd be like throwing
No,
airdropping.
I probably would have gone into teacher mode and
Yeah.
like gone up to the front
I don't know,
and
man.
literally just been like, everybody needs to be quiet
Yes.
and respectful of everyone in this theater.
No, I'm telling you, Cara.
would've
just
pulled
shuddered.
over.
I
That's
I
my
agree with
girl.
you, but and I'm with Annie, these high schoolers, there was something about them. There was a lot of them. There was like 10 of them, and I thought,
Oh,
you know
you
what?
didn't think
It's
you could
not
take 'em?
even. It's not even worth it
Because
I
one
know
is
they're going to be
scary.
rough.
And they're,
Okay, but think of high school you. If I had someone my age go to the front
No.
and say that, I would have been.
But
I would've
you were
shit myself.
Cara, I know
They're
we're
different,
the
they're
same.
built
If
different.
somebody had said that to me, I would have been like, "I'm so sorry," but we were raised like with
Yeah.
Respect. They
like
don't have
respect
that.
and polite manner.
really
one
don't.
high schooler, they're almost insecure enough to be like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Like that kid on the
But
left,
when
I
they're
could
in
have
a
got him.
mob,
No.
when they're at a lunch table, is my worst fear.
No,
I have
yeah.
a story from
The kid who went by,
Boom
clock
Bake.
him.
Yeah,
Just quick.
You just punch them.
Just a quick-
Here's the thing: I
just a quick
couldn't
punch.
curse either because like I don't want to be as
Yeah.
bad as
That
them.
beats
No.
them.
So I'm like,
Then they win.
I
Yeah.
have a story from Boom Bake where a group.
What's that?
Okay, nice.
Where we were talking about that.
Unnamed
Christian
large Christian camp.
Boom Bake. Got it.
Oh,
I'm like,
oh,
what
God,
is
yeah,
Boom
yeah.
Bake?
We don't
That's a
actually work
throwback.
there, so you
There's a
could say it
throwback
if you
to
want.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I was at Hume Lake, and oh my God, no! And
just
I was
named them.
a counselor for my
Okay.
church.
Okay.
And we had this group of, I think at the time they were freshman boys or sophomore boys, horrific. They were like the most like disrespectful kids ever. They get told by a staffer, so someone who has a shirt that has a name badge, everything, and they said, "Hey guys, you can't sit on this side of the lake. You gotta go on the other side." They're like watching a little show that's happening, and they said they called her a bitch. They
My
said they're
gosh.
like, "Who are you?"
Dude.
And she
Got
was
her.
like, I'm a staff member. You guys need to move. And they're like, no, thanks. So then
Later,
she goes
bitch.
and gets a male staff member to come with her. Like,
Yeah.
hey, like,
What
I
the-
need
Kinda have
backup.
to.
Comes back with this male staffer. She says the same thing. She goes, hey, you guys need to move. And they're like, okay, bitch. And like walk by. And
Oh
my
my
They had
gosh.
to do dishes for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
For everyone, for every meal.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank
Then,
you.
so
right.
then same kids. So they're like obviously Christian camp. You can't have your shirts
Ew.
off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a very basic rule. Like, hey, you can't be walking around with your shirts off. Christian camp.
Oh, okay.
And
Right.
these
That makes
boys
sense.
all walking around
okay.
with their shirts off, like all like put their hats backwards, trying to be cool.
They're looking for a wife, Annie.
Yes, they
okay.
are.
Yeah, you
as-
gotta
as
lock one
on.
sophomores in high school.
Come on.
Lock it in.
And I,
Oh yeah, you don't think they are? Come on,
oh
they are.
yeah. Well, me too, but like
You
didn't
too,
work.
but-
Okay.
Yeah.
Same.
There you
Well,
go, buddy.
husband, not wife.
Okay.
But I,
Whatever.
Well, whatever you want, it's cool.
but
No
I
judgment.
said to him, I said, hey, you guys need to put your shirts on. And they
Oh.
look at me and they go, who the hell are you? And I said, I'm a counselor. And they go, so? And I go, from your church. And unless you want me to go get
best-
Grant Todd to call up your parents, you
Straight
better
up.
freaking
The
put your
best would
shirts
have been,
back on.
who are
And
you?
then
Your
the
worst
best part-
nightmare.
The best part
Didn't
is
work.
they go, oh yeah, respect. And like,
Ew.
and
Oh, gosh.
I said, like,
Ew.
and I was having a one-on-one with one of my students, and they walk away, and I said, I will end them. And they're like, get him, Annie, get him.
Get him.
The best response would be
hate
like,
that.
who are you? Your worst nightmare.
Your worst.
I will call your
nightmare.
mom right now.
And your camp will
I've
be
got
now.
your mom's freaking
the
phone number on
best-
speed
the
dial.
best threat of it too is like, I will call your parents. I will tell them
Done.
that they must come drive
Yep.
8 hours to come get you.
The best
And do you
monologue
think
ever.
when
Because you're
they
walking
pick
around
you
without a
up,
shirt on.
They're gonna be excited to see your face after 8 hours.
I wish you would have
And
prepared the most beautiful
$700?
monologue
You're
that
like-
just like at the end they're like crying. They're
A
like,
scroll.
I go, and so now when you look at me,
Yes,
never ask
yes.
again.
Oh my gosh.
Who the hell are you?
because you'll know.
now- 'cause now
I'm
you
the crazy
know.
one.
Because now you
I
know
go,
me.
who the hell are you?
And they just
They're
go.
like,
Respect. Here's the thing: is I like sometimes I'll put on my intimidating voice.
do you have that? Can I hear it? Can
I
you hear it?
but
yeah, like, give
the
us a
problem
taste.
is
Okay.
I don't have an intimidating face.
Okay, but can we? Well, I'll
Give us
close
an
our
intimidating
eyes.
voice.
Do I have an intimidating face?
I'll close
I
our
think you
eyes
do.
and
Okay.
I'll play a disrespectful high
You're gonna be
schooler.
a high schooler like out on my lawn.
Okay.
Like,
Okay,
Okay.
that's really specific. Go ahead.
Hey, fuck you, Mr. Tafolla.
totally serious right now. I couldn't commit
can't,
to
you
it.
can't,
I couldn't
you
commit to
can't,
it.
you can't.
I have to
The
be in
Halo's
that
good.
place. I have to
The
be in that
No,
Halo-
place.
I just
Good.
think of your dad when he gets like
Yeah.
like
Anger.
I would get serious.
That's what I try to
scary.
channel.
I would
Yeah,
be
you could
scared
never do that.
to be on
Okay.
the
I don't
wrong
know about
side
never.
of Tafolla.
Maybe I have to like respawn first. Like I have to have a child to be able to.
Maybe.
Because I think I can get fairly
Yeah, I think
intimidating.
you'll
but I
hit
think
it.
I can't
think
commit in my face.
There's a
like,
new anger that is unlocked in you when you see a mini clone of you
Yeah.
Oh,
being
man.
as
There has to be,
disrespectful
right?
I've
as
seen it in my
you
brother.
can
I've seen it
be.
in my brother big time.
Yeah,
you're
you
like,
have.
Oh yeah. When my brother's kid got like when my nephew does something and it's so funny because I've never seen it. My brother doesn't get like angry.
No, of course.
Ever. He's always been the sarcastic one. So seeing him have to parent like a small version of him, I'm like, oh, this is so good to watch.
So good.
It's so good.
Maybe this is the toxic masculinity in me, but I feel
It
like
is.
I want to get in a fight a little bit. Like
never been in a
sometimes when
fight.
I'm out
I've
at a
always
bar,
wanted
I'm
to
like,
get in a fight.
I
Maybe
want to
it's
like
my toxic
beat somebody
masculinity,
up.
too.
You
Do
know?
you think you would,
Not that-
though?
I don't think I could beat somebody up. Like I don't know if I would win the fight
You've
necessarily.
almost gotten in fights.
But I think
Almost.
I could do
I've
well
stopped
enough
you
to
every time.
end the fight. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
Don't start it, finish it.
Yeah,
My-
I mean that's what you got to do, right?
My this
Right?
is
Come on.
my toxic femininity is like
Okay.
I've always like been like I want a guy who will throw a punch for me.
Dang.
Like
That is
he'll
your
get- he'll
toxic
get in the-
femininity. That is
he'll-
pretty toxic.
He'll get in a fight at the bar. You know all the bars.
Would
we're
that,
going to.
Cara? Would that be like hot for you, or would it be like not hot
She
for
would.
you?
No,
it's always
because
fine
you've
for
almost
you.
done that every time, and I've had to hold
now,
you back because
now
I know
you've
you're
never
gonna get hurt.
you've never seen the fire. You've never had to get
You've never
burned.
seen the
You've
fire.
never seen the fire come
You have
out.
never seen the fire.
She's like, Ryan, this isn't nice because I'm just gonna have to take you to the
You've
hospital.
seen the sparks.
Yes.
You've definitely seen the sparks. But if you saw that fire, would you feel the heat?
No. I would probably do what Bobby does and run away.
Okay.
She'd throw her wedding ring in the distance.
Wow.
She's like, I don't know him.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's almost like sad when we talk about Bobby running. Like it is so
no.
so fast, And I like you just have to know if you're on with Bobby and you get in something, Bobby will leave you for dead.
Self-preservation, John.
Fight or flight.
He's surviving.
His political
No,
career.
there's
He
something
will live longer than all of us.
I know he will, but there's something so much better about being with like us being out.
yeah,
and,
John, how many fights
and if
have you backed
Yeah,
No,
wait,
no.
how many? Have you
Hold
been in a
on.
fight, John?
Let me finish. If somebody like was threatening me and you were like, let's get him.
I threaten you all the time, John.
That's the coolest
Okay,
feeling.
but wouldn't you?
What are you
follow
gonna get him
suit-
with a tap dance?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, with the
Oh,
good
yeah.
old
I
don't even
theater
tap.
monologue.
With a good
Cara.
old hitch kick?
Soft shoe.
Yeah, maybe
Hitch
I
kick,
would.
a hitch
Yeah.
kick.
You guys know
Okay,
any
first of all,
worship
by the way,
songs?
just because we did theater, does that make us like the
Softies, yeah.
most
answer is
soft
yes.
men you
The
know?
answer is yes.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, because
feel
the
like
fighting
we're
you know
fairly
is stage
intimidating.
fighting.
Okay,
Dude,
if you met us in a
cannot
dark
wait.
alley on like alone, you know, what would you?
On looks alone, we look
on looks alone,
intimidating.
we look.
No, if I met you in a dark alley, if I was in a dark alley, I would walk up to you two and be
Yes.
like, "Hey, you guys seem trustworthy. Can you walk me back to
Yep.
my car because I don't?
And then-
I think
Ouch.
the other people behind you said anyone else. I'm like, they're kind
Also,
of
if
freaking me
it's
out.
two of you in an
Okay,
alley,
well, you know what?
someone could
that's
also
good.
see that.
Makes me feel good.
Someone could
compliment.
also see you two as a couple.
That's beautiful.
That is.
You never
And
know.
we're subverting their expectations, and then we kick their
God.
asses.
Yeah.
You know,
beat 'em up.
You know, me and John that are just going out to like find a fight in
Yeah.
a dark alley one
By
night.
the way,
Such a-
you guys are skewed because you know us. I feel like if a stranger saw
You're
Ryan
not
and
intimidating.
they would think we're intimidating, just
You
a
were
little
both
bit.
strangers to me at one point.
Unfortunately, I have a soft face.
Yeah.
You also have a tropical tattoo sleeve.
No, let's say I'm in my
Leather
skin tight.
jacket.
Yeah, my leather jacket. Thank you. I'm in my leather jacket
Are you in
with
your
spikes
leather
on
pants?
it.
And we're
Yes.
on motorcycles.
Yes, I'm in my leather pants, and I've got
Are
big
you
spiky
wearing?
boots.
Are you? This is a very
know
vital
what?
question. Are you wearing the sunglasses you are currently wearing now?
No, we're wearing way cooler ones and tougher looking. Actually, these are fairly tough. So
Well, maybe if you're holding hands down the alley, I'd be
Yeah.
like, wow, look at those two.
no, actually, we're holding
punchy
bats. Okay, thank you.
Okay, it's
The
time to end this,
equalizer.
people.
Yeah, we're about
we
there.
gotta go.
Did I tell you guys I saw somebody throw their wedding ring at Disneyland one time? Did I tell that story?
No.
Yeah, I saw a fight break out between a couple, and they were like, we're right by the Hungry Bear restaurant by the Splash Mountain, and they were arguing, and he literally pulled it off, and he threw it, and like the whole park could hear the ding, 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 and then he like stormed off, and she was just like, and like went into the bush to go look for it. I was like, this
She's
is
like,
the
"Not
most
again, Jeff."
like the most depressing like romance novel that I've ever seen before. Like the will they, won't they?
And
Now-
Disney immediately puts
now
up like
imagine
barriers and
this.
is like, this never happened.
And imagine this. You know how people fake propose at Disneyland?
Yes.
What if it was all a fake breakup? And
Whoa.
how intense.
Kind of sounds lame, honestly. I
Wow,
believed
this
it so
is
much
one of the
more if it
longest
was, like,
episodes
cool.
we've had in the
while.
last 20,
Yeah, we
I
gotta
think.
go.
You know why? Because we
Why?
kept the air on.
All right.
Oh,
Wow.
did we?
Yeah, we did.
On the couch, as always, Cara, Tafolla, and Skov. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
We'll see you next week on
What the
Podcast.